Headlines and editorials. First, with the news.
Thank you for staying tuned to today's review of newspaper headlines and editorials with analysis. Before we went for that break, we've been talking about insecurity, and I think we have a lot of dimensions and layer, multi-layer. So, Ibola, you have another one, bottom and security story this morning.
Yes, well, this is from Punch newspaper, and this is on Plateau State. Tinubu vows crackdown on killers and then approves 2 billion naira relief. Now, you see, comrade, We have some kidnappers already demanding in billions as well. So, the federal government or vis-a-vis the state government, are we sure they are releasing enough funds to fight this insecurity?
Thank you. In relation to what we are discussing before the break, as it has to do with ensuring that the people that will be governing or policing a particular jurisdiction should be from that area, I think this just situation speaks to that. A majority of the people that have been arrested as kidnappers from Jos that has been causing problem and relating it to religious or tribal crisis has been indigenous of those areas. So far, so good. The people that have been arrested have been indigenous of those areas that speaks the same language and then have the same religion with the people they are killing, and then disguising themselves as Fulani S-man, calling Allah Akbar when they kill people so that the people can say, it is the Fulani S-man. Meanwhile, they are a resident of those areas. So, like I said, it's not about the tribe. Criminals does not have tribe. They didn't have religion. They only have that criminal mindset to actually inflict violence, crisis, and chaos on the people that they want to do that. So about funding the fight against insecurity, I think the country has spent a whole lot of money on insecurity that some CSOs and NGOs have been calling for stoppage to those funding as well, because they felt some people are exploiting that opportunity of funding to actually enrich themselves and then continue to fuel the insecurity, whether through the financial support or even the statements that they are making.
So the problem is not the funding, is how it's being dispersed.
Yes, that's exactly the point. The problem has never been the funding. I remember even the former president of the country, President Muhammadu Buhari, borrowed about $2.1 million to buy some equipment for the Nigerian military before he left, and a whole lot of borrowing that is channeled towards funding the insecurity and buying equipment for the military. So a lot of people believe this funding is one of the factors that is fueling this crisis, because people understand that there is funding in this area, and if that does not continue, then they will stop the funding. So they need the funding to continue, and they need the crisis to continue. So it's not about funding, it's about our sincerity of purpose. It's about the leadership, purposeful leadership that will ensure that even if we are funding this thing, we are funding it to actually get the result. Like I said a few weeks ago, when the country is talking about the American interest in the country in fighting insecurity, there is the economic aspect of it. America wanted to sell their own equipment too, the war equipment, and then you have crisis. It is easy for them to continue to fuel the crisis. We've seen a whole lot of conspiracy theories across the world. So it is not about funding, it is about our sincerity to actually fight this menace standstill, and I hope that the government and the security apparatus will understand this.
I'm glad you talk about America, because now there's a story that says US lawmaker faults Tinubu over security aid compliance, urges funding review. So that's Riley Moore has criticized the administration of President Bola Tinubu over what he described as a failure to meet conditions attached to U.S. security assistance to Nigeria. So what you just said, right?
So you could see, you can actually see from that perspective what are the conditions. If you said that a country is having a problem and you want to help them, you need to give them conditions that will be difficult for them to actually abide with. The U.S. does not have any other interest apart from the United States interest. That's also true. Their interest is not about solving the insecurity in Nigeria. Their interest is about ensuring that they have the economic stability by selling some of those equipment that they are producing to the country. Whether we are able to end the insecurity in time or we are not able to end it, what matters to them is that they want to give you something and they want to collect money from you. So I hope that the country will review, like I used to say, solving Nigerian insecurity problem does not require an outsider to come and help us. Within ourselves, we can solve our own problem if we are sincere about solving it. All we just need is to bring ourselves together, the security apparatus, the leadership of the country, the citizens of those affected areas, the stakeholders from those affected areas come together, devise a means, and then you'll be able to challenge some of these menaces heads on.
Okay,
All right. So
can we read this particular story talking about how we uncovered plots to overthrow Tinubu? You have it right.
well, I was about to, having reading a subsequent following
Follow up to
question
that
to
question,
that
okay,
one.
before we move
Yes,
away.
because he was talking about the U.S. and whatever interference they're running. Now here we have article U.S. lobby firm wants Tinubu, that's the president, and
Mhm.
seeks sanction on insecurity and elections. Now I would want to ask you that you said, well, United States is not interested in any other person but United States. So for this headline, and subsequently, initially, well, we had reports that even the president or United States did say they were reacting initially to some reports that were sent to them earlier on by the now president of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and this here is coming from article. So if you say that interests of Americans are just for Americans, what are the interests of these people, from Nigerians that are feeding the United States with this information on insecurity or thereabout?
You see, when you speak about Nigeria, sometimes you get so tired and sad about the development of the country, especially as it is coming from those who have been benefiting from the country benevolence, like these politicians, people who have been given mandate by the citizens to actually ensure that they put the country where it's supposed to be among the Committee of States. Atiku Abubakar, former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, former governor, former senator, the current INEC chairman, a barrister, a professor who has been benefiting from the benevolence of the country. Yes, all of them contributed to the image of the country outside there just because they want to have power, just because they have interest in becoming or not becoming something in the country, and they felt the external interference, putting pressure on the people that are the hands of affairs at that particular period of time, we give them a leverage and we give them some kind of sympathy from the international body to be able to get exactly what they want to get. They forgot to understand that there will be some consequences for some of this situation, like you have just mentioned. United States reacting to some of the reports sent by the incumbent president, who at that point doesn't actually have it in mind or does not think he will become a president one day, and such reports can be used against him. So I hope that patriotism at this point will come to play for everything. It's a lesson actually. The president is now there. He is facing pressure as a result of some of the things that he has done in the past, and a lot of people are putting pressure on him too right now, just because they felt that they needed those leverages. It is not because they felt the United States of America loves Nigeria. It is because they felt that will give them a leverage to actually put pressure on the incumbent government.
Okay, we still have another one, but we have to go for this break. When we come back, let's talk about this one. I the one I was mentioning earlier was, still talking about insecurity, and it says how we uncovered plot to overthrow Tinubu Amichel's court. So, but the following writer insists ex-governor Sylvia was involved. So we're talking about insecurity generally, and now if we have this one that is about governance, talking about overthrow, talking about coup, planning a coup, even though it was squashed, I want us to discuss how this might this might actually affect the government, and if this is not another distraction, as against the election that we are preparing for. So let's go for this commercial. When we come back, we'll discuss that another headlines that we have this morning. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Time is 9 a.m. and you're listening to Sobi 101.9 FM. Today's review of newspaper headlines and editorial to the analysis, the Thursday edition, the last edition of the month, as it's the 30th of April 2026, with Mariam Afolabi, Ayebola Anila Aliyu, and Komri Tajuddin Abib. And we are still on insecurity, as it seems like a topic we definitely can't just exhaust like that. We have another one that says how we uncovered plot to overthrow Tinubu, army tells court. In 6, ex-governor Sylvia was involved. He said the Nigerian army on Wednesday confirmed before the Federal High Court in Abuja that there was indeed a plot to overthrow the administration of President Bola Tinubu through a coup d'etat. A soldier from the Nigerian Army Corps of Military Police, whose identity was shielded by order of the court, mounted the witness box and testified against the 6th alleged mastermind of the alleged coup plot. So, let's just have your reaction generally to this.
Coup in Nigeria, that's going to be a tall dream. But yes, we've gotten the news. And I think about 4 or 5 months ago about the possibility of a coup d'etat in the country. And yes, kudos to the Nigerian security apparatus for the intelligence and nicking it in the bud before it escalated into something that we've seen exactly the situation in other countries, African countries, that has witnessed coup in recent time. It is not palatable. And I want to say that irrespective of whatever the challenges are with our democracy, according to the historical records of what the military administrations represent, I think our democracy is still better. And I hope that our leaders will sit tight as well to actually deliver the dividend of democracy to the people, so that some of these complaints, some of this support that some of these people are gathering in the country will not be the order of the day again. It's actually pathetic that after 20-something years of returning to democracy, some people are still not showing thoughts of overthrowing the government. I hope that we don't have such challenges again. I hope that our leaders will sit tight and ensure that they do the right thing for the country.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to another one here that says from Punch that petrol nears 1,400 naira per litre as Dangote hikes his own prices as well. Now, just that some few weeks ago, we actually took another headline that did say that Nigeria earns up to trillions back here from crude oil. And you see, I don't know whether my own mathematics is not that good. I don't know why, but when it seems that the higher we are earning from crude oil, the higher the price of a liter of petrol.
Yes, definitely. It is economically and globally the situation of what will happen when the crude oil prices rises, because it's a global commodity.
I mean, for what we are earning, we are earning higher.
The reason why we are earning higher is exactly what I want to explain. Crude is a global commodity wherein the prices is determined by the international petroleum. Okay. What do you call it? What do you call it?
Talking about OPEC.
OPEC. Yes, OPEC. Determines exactly how much a crude is going for. Yes, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Yeah. Yes. So this OPEC determines exactly how much you're selling your crude oil, and it is a global pricing. It is not peculiar to Nigeria. So as far as the prices of this crude is going higher in the global market, Nigeria continues to earn higher. But the implication is that this cost is affecting the end product of the crude, because crude is just the natural resources that you extract from the ground. Then you have byproducts as a result of the refining of these natural resources. You have the PMS, you have the diesel, you have the kerosene, you have some other things that is getting out of that crude. So this determines exactly the price as well, because the price is higher, then the end product prices will be higher. So that's exactly the reason why we're having high prices in terms of petrol in the country as well. So and Dangote is not exempted, because Nigeria is part of OPEC. So automatically, whatever that happens at the organization level will affect Nigeria as well. So, but this morning, as I was coming here, I saw the new prices on the plate as well, and I put up a small post on the social media saying that I think at this rate, the country needs to reintroduce subsidy temporarily,
because if they're earning that much, what sugar are they giving to us?
Because that's the only way I think the government can actually provide a kind of support support for the masses, because at this point, considering the economic situation of the country, going higher again will affect the entire masses, and I don't think the government wants to have the right of the people at this point, especially when the election is coming near. So I hope that the government will look for a way. It's because we do not have some of these shock absorber. We do not have like, if we have a good transportation system in the country, if we have a standard transportation, say the rail is working, the government can actually come in through those areas. Say we have a good road wherein the government can give buses to the people for commuting. But unfortunately, we do not have some of these shock absorbers. So the only thing I can think of at that point is for the government to reintroduce the subsidy temporarily, and when the prices are stable again in the global market, then they can remove it back.
All right, you made mention of election, and this brings us to this story. It says 2027 ADC to appeal ruling blocking INEC recognition of congresses. The national chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Senator David Mark, has said the party will appeal a federal high court ruling barring the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, from recognizing its state congresses, insisting it will still be on the ballot for the election in 2027 despite ongoing legal battles. Let's stop here. Election is right around the corner, and this battle with INEC and ADC. ADC being one of the opposition parties that, Nigerians are, probably putting their mind to, to balance the whole thing during the election, and we're having these issues with INEC, and it doesn't seem to stop or be solved anytime soon. What's your reaction to this?
ADC, when you said ADC national chairman, I think you're having a kind of conflict.
According to the story. According to the story.
We actually have another person claiming to be the chairman, and he seems to have that recognition even on the media as the authentic chairman because of the court pronouncement. But unfortunately, like I said here about 3 weeks ago, the ADC seems to be getting themselves confused. As the major opposition, so to say, currently in the country because of the situation of the People's Democratic Party, it is expected that ADC, when this problem arises, will go back to the drawing board to ensure that they put their own house in order so that they can have a common front to the election. Unfortunately, that wasn't the situation. They are looking at it from the direction that it is the incumbent government, so to say, the ruling party, that is giving them problem. As such, they have to be stubborn about it. But legal issue does not require stubbornness. You have to follow the legal process, the right process, to be able to have the outcome that you actually wanted. The INEC was not present when you are doing your own convention. How do you want INEC to recognize such convention? It is not done anywhere. It is stipulated according to the Electoral Act that when you are doing such convention, INEC should be there as an observer. Is INEC there when you are doing that convention? The answer is no. How do you want them to recognize? So I hope that before the time goes that they will not have any other option than to be out of the ballot, the ADC would go back to the drawing board like I advised them 3 weeks ago. Sit down with the people, the aggrieved people in the party, whatever it is required, sit down with them, sort it out, and ensure that you go into that election in unity. Otherwise, we will continue to have some of this situation and we will not have a headway. And
this might be unfortunate because we have a lot of big wigs in the party.
Of course,
and it's supposed to play to their advantage.
That's exactly what I'm saying. We have veterans, people who have been part of the Nigerian democratic system since its inception. So why are we having this kind of situation? They should understand, and that's where I am confused, because I expect them to understand the situation of things, even if you are claiming that it is the ruling party giving you problem. You have been part of the ruling party before. You should have a means to actually solve some of this problem rather than complicating it. Because I see them complicating their own issue against solving the problem that they have. You have the former vice president as part of this ADC. You have former Senate presidents. You have several governors, ex-governors who are part of this movement. So why are we stuck in this position? So I hope that they will find solution and ensure that they give Nigerians, because it is very, very important for our democracy, give Nigerians the option to be able to choose from 2, 3 better options.
Let's go for this break. We'll be right back.
Jẹ́ good mama ni mo tún ní lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ìsọdọ̀tún sí mi.
So this is Jolly Johnny on the streets. How well do you know Mangi chicken flavor? Oh yeah, spell celery. S-E-L-A-R-I. Celery. Ross, you want tomato salary? Okay, spell turmeric.
Turmeric.
Yes, sir. Correct. 1 carton of Mangi chicken flavor for you. Mangi chicken flavor with onions, celery, and turmeric. My game changer.
I found something inside my Nescafe Original 3-in-1 pack the other day. A unique code printed inside.
Yes, so every pack of Nescafe Original 3-in-1 now comes with a code inside in the Nescafe Next Level promo. Just text the code to *7022# and you could win 500,000 naira cash, business tools, and training. Up to 1 million naira in prizes to be won. Promo runs until June 30th, 2026. T's and apply. Nescafe. Make your world.
Ìtẹ̀ méjì omi òrombo lẹ́mọ̀nì ṣíbí èdúkan àti iyọ̀.
Kí ló ń pò pọ̀? Kí ló dé tí èdú ṣe kún gbogbo ilé báyìí?
Àpòpọ̀ tí mo fi ń fọ eyín mi ni o. Mo fẹ́ dàbí ẹ.
Gbàgbé àpòpọ̀ yìí, Pepsodent Natural Charcoal Whitening Toothpaste tuntun ni ó lò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, jẹ́ kí eyín rẹ funfun lọ́nà àdáyébá pẹ̀lú ohun ìfọyín Pepsodent Natural Charcoal Whitening Toothpaste tuntun. A ṣe pẹ̀lú eérú àdáyébá tí ó ń jẹ́ kí eyín rẹ funfun àti omi òróǹbó lẹ́mọ́nì tí ó ń fọ eyín rẹ jinlẹ̀. Pepsodent Charcoal, eérú àdáyébá, eyín funfun dáadáa.
Today's review of newspaper headlines and editorials. First, with the news.
Today's review of newspaper headlines and editorials. You're welcome to the last lap of the show and the last edition of the month. Okay, you can call us on 09124221019, 09124221019, or 0805-189-9241 to be a part of the program. Tell us what made the headlines for you this morning, and any contribution that you might have. And also check us live on Facebook at Sobi 101.9 FM, and our YouTube channel is Sobi 101_9 FM. So, Ayebola, as we are expecting our calls, let's see what other headlines we have this morning before we go.
All right, so we have this from Guardian, and this is that ICPC files charges against El-Rufai and others over 10 billion CCTV project, 7.8 billion to be precise.
That particular project, right?
Yes, exactly. So now I want to ask that.
Sorry, before you ask, let's see if we can get this going. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from, please. Hello, good morning. All right, I will continue.
All right, so I want to ask that, him being a former governor of Kaduna State, when these governors come and go, people, whenever anything like probes or, any investigation happens, people tend to start to think it's probably politically motivated. Now, do you think venture, we don't know what will happen, but should there be a policy that every, not as opposed to any, or they can, but every governor that leaves the seat should definitely be expecting a kind of every time compulsorily after they leave government. Do you think that would serve as a difference?
When it comes to corruption cases, I don't want to be emotional.
Yes.
It is a legal process. They said you are corrupt. Okay? Even though our legal system provides that he who asserts must prove.
Yes.
So it is definitely the onus lies on the government who have alleged you that you are corrupt to prove it. Yours is just to defend yourself that I am not. So when it comes to corruption cases, especially as it comes to government appointees, elected officials, I don't like being emotional, because when you tend to be emotional about it, you tend to forget some certain things. That in this country we have seen a lot of things that begs for questioning when it comes to these elected officials or appointed officials. So for me, when it comes to corruption, I want you to go out there and prove yourself that I am not corrupt as alleged by the government. That's the only solution. So relating politics to it, politics is a game wherein whenever Rufai was in power, he uses whatever he has as well to actually challenge his opposition, the people opposing him, and then take them out of the way so that he can have his way as the governor of the state. If he's contesting another election again, he will do the same thing for his opposition. What are the things that I can exploit to be able to get my way out of that position? But when it comes to corruption, everyone being charged for corrupt cases should face the music and ensure that they exonerated themselves in the court of law against the court of public opinion, wherein sympathy have been sorted by some of these officials. I am not one of those who actually gave myself up for such a situation. No. You should go there. They said you are corrupt. They have said this is the situation when you are governor. You said you are doing this project. You didn't do it. We have seen a lot of things that you feel like, how did this happen in this country? So I think I will fight, for me, the best governor that Northern Nigerian has ever produced. For me, one of the best technocrat, one of the best politicians that Nigerian has. But in this case, personally, for me, that's exactly the reason why I'm using the word for me. So, but when it comes to the for me as a politician as well, he's one of those we are looking up to. But I think that he should face the music and ensure that it's an outcome.
Okay, before we wrap up on the show this morning, I want to you to give us your opinion about immunity that some of the government officials enjoy while in power. There are pros and cons to every policy and every rule. But as far as Nigeria is concerned, would you say that we are enjoying the pros of this immunity or the cons? Which one do you think?
Unfortunately, there is no situation. There is no situation in Nigeria that is not being exploited by those who want to exploit it. If you said the immunity should be removed, you tend to have a situation wherein those at the ends of our fear will be challenged by those outside the power,
especially the opposition.
Yeah, and they will continue to distract them from delivering exactly what they have promised during the electoral process. And that's exactly the reason why always when we speak about immunity, I'm always skeptical about where to stand. But you see, all of this has to do with how weak our institutions are. Against building institutions, Nigerian builds individual. And it is easy for those individuals to actually use the institution the way they like at every point in time when they have access or power to those institutions. It's about rebuilding our mindset. It's about knowing exactly what the leadership entails, and you will not have some of these situations that we're having again. But as far as I'm concerned, as of today, as far as I'm concerned, as our democracy is going, I think the immunity is still serving a purpose of ensuring that there is stability in government. So I hope that the people who are enjoying this immunity will take advantage of it and ensure that they do the right thing even when nobody is there to challenge them.
All right, thank you very much. This is Zoe. We're going to be joining the coaching on today's video of newspaper headlines and editorial for today and for this month. Thank you so much for always being a part of the program. Thank you, Comrade. Thank you, Ayebola. And from what we've been seeing on the news so far, we could see that the security, like we always preach, is not just the should I say responsibility of the government, but also for you and I. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.